Your girl is back. Your girl is back. OMG. It feels good to be back. First of all, I'm back. Okay. All right. I'm pretty sure Robyn here shared with you guys. Frederick and I was on one cruise ship for 35 nights. And this was the ultimate cruise for us because of a lot of the places that we visited. Greece, Portugal, Spain, Italy, France. Oh my God. It was like I'm waking up. It was just going, going, going. All right. So it feels good to be back. On this show, one of the things that I noticed in visiting the different countries, I kept saying, they don't look like us. If you had a cane, a walker, or a scooter, you weren't from that country. No, I can spot out the Americans just going around. Okay, so I was really, really, really paying attention. I was saying why these people don't look sick like us, because we have normalized sickness in America. You walk down now and see somebody with a boot on. I see people with back braces, look like they got a whole chair on their back. We have we've made compression socks fashionable, canes, walkers, oxygen tanks. I see all of that here, but over there, I didn't say people were all physically fit and a model. I'm not saying that, but they're elderly. Everybody was able to walk. Everybody was able to move around. Everybody was doing their thing, and the handicap services were utilized by us Americans. Okay. Okay. I saw a hospital. I thought it was a urgent care. It wasn't big at all. And they have like one or two. They have pharmacies. I saw maybe three in certain countries. And it's like, I'm asking myself, why is this so different? What's going on here that they are like not needing medication the way that we do? Can't sleep? There's a pill for that. You got a headache? There's a pill for that. You sad? Oh, don't worry about it. I got a pill for it. But wait a minute. When you take that medicine, it might do something to you, but it's okay because I got a pill to do that one. And then you turn around with your blood pressure. There's a pill for that one. Then your diabetes. There's an injection or a pill for that one. Depends on which one you could go. I didn't see any of that. None of that over in the other countries, because food is used for healing. And that's what the train of thought that I ended up having. And it's like, wait a minute. We used to be like this. What's going on? Because most of our food comes with commercials attached to it. And then you have this medicine, the fine print used to be on the screen. Now you can pause. You don't even have to pause it for the fine print. They're up there telling you could cause death, could cause you lose your eye, could cause this. The side effects are worse than what you take in the medicine for. So how do we get so far away from supporting our bodies naturally to becoming completely dependent on managing symptoms? So I'm going to start with this. Robyn, when people hear this conversation, some immediately think it sounds like this might be anti-medication. No. So help us ground this before we go deeper into what we're talking about.
You forgot to say something, girl. Tell the people who you are.
I know. I didn't leave that part out. I'm going to pick it up on the next part. But hey, everybody, it's G Brown, the lifestyle changer. And I'm so happy to be back in the house. But I'm jet lagged right now. I really, really am. So, but we press it up. Don't I look tired? Don't I look tired? Yes. And I'm going to sleep right after this show because I don't know which time zone I'm in. Go right ahead.
All right, my name is Robyn Herron, and I am your carnivorous grandma. I'm happy to have my friend back on the show tonight. And I am also certified in nutrition. I am a KILTS certified health coach. And I'm here to help us understand our bodies and fuel our bodies in a way that actually makes sense. So I'm glad that you said it, because we do need to ground this, right? It's not about saying that all modern medicine is bad. We are definitely not saying that, because modern medicine has saved lives, many, many lives. We know that emergency medicine matters, because if you get into a car accident, you want to go to the emergency room, you want that doctor to be able to care for you, right? Surgeries do matter, and antibiotics changed the game, right? They changed history when we were able to fight some of these bacteria and viruses and
Mm-hmm.
all those kinds of
Mm-hmm.
things. But historically, there was a major shift in medicine in the early 1900s. So before that shift happened, the medical landscape was much broader. So back in those days, before the early 1900s, the schools were teaching things like herbal medicine,
Mm-hmm.
naturopathy, which is a system of primary healthcare that blends traditional healing practices with modern complementary medicine, right? Then you
Mm-hmm.
got homeopathy, which is a system of alternative medicine based on the belief that like cures like. So I want you to think about this. If you go and get the allergy shots, right? If you go get the if you go get allergy shots, they're going to give you just a little bit of the toxin that you're allergic to build up your resistance. That is a version of homeopathy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, a substance that causes symptoms in a healthy person can treat similar symptoms in the sick. And then eclectic medicine, which I just learned about, was 19th and 20th century American medical movement. It rejected harsh mainstream practices, which was mainstream back then, such as bloodletting. We are thankful that we don't have that no more, right? And heavy chemical treatments in favor of gentler botanical remedies, right? So in those days with eclectic medicine, practitioners selectively use whatever therapy proved most beneficial. So
Hmm.
that's way different than what we're doing today, right? So that those practices influence our modern holistic and naturopathic care. So then, all of a sudden, in 1910, comes the Flexner Report. I don't know
Mm.
if you've heard of the Flexner Report, but Flexner Report was a landmark study that evaluated and fundamentally transformed medical education in the United States and Canada. And after that, medical education became increasingly standardized around pharmaceuticals and lab-based medicine. So what happened is ultimately ends up happening is that a lot of the smaller alternative schools closed over time because they couldn't meet these new standards or the funding requirements. So large foundations connected to Rockefeller and Carnegie heavily funded this newer medical model. So the system gradually shifted toward pharmaceuticals, symptom treatment. Y'all know this is what we get. You got a symptom, they got a pill for that. G just mentioned it. And standardized medicine, standard of care. You've heard of it, right? And away from more traditional approaches. So, G, when you first started learning about this history, what stood out to you emotionally?
Well, even though I want to say that I didn't get angry, a part of me did, because I'm looking, what if I grew up over there? There's so many things that I would not have experienced. Fibromyalgia, spinal stenosis, bursitis, high blood pressure, all of these things I had. And I think about the mobility in my back. If I don't know which one hurt more, my back or my hip, and to the point where I went and laid on the table for them to stick a solution in my spine. When I think of the things that we come up with through this new schooling for finding out symptoms, so never is it what did you eat that inflamed you. It is, you pretty much can keep eating what you're eating. Let me stick this in your back. Let me do these different things. And that's where, because I want you guys to know everybody's not living like this. Everybody, and this isn't a bash the USA. This is not that. But I will say there's only one place where you got a credit report. None of the other countries, they tell you what you owe, and you're a person of your word and you pay it. My eyes are being open to so much more, and realizing that, especially the middle class, we are their funding. It's just that talk. That's it. We're their funding. And when I sat with that for a moment, I realized how disconnected we are. As we see it, we don't question enough. If you don't get anything else from us tonight, question what's being said to you. Think about it. The sugar is causing some of your symptoms, diabetes. And when you go for dialysis, they're giving you juice that has sugar in it. Even if it says sugar-free, that's not true. There is a sweetener in it. So you are on this wheel, right? And start questioning. We come on every Monday night at 7 p.m. to bring some form of information to you. I am talking with people on these cruises because they see my diet that comes to the table. Questions are coming up. One guy, they read my shirt. I was wearing Carrie Mann's The Healing Humanity. And it's like, well, tell me about the shirt. I ended up looking at the person and saying, you see your belly fat? You see your swollen ankles? You see how you're feeling in the morning? It's connected with the food that you are eating. It is just that simple. So your food, your sleep, your movement, your sunlight, your stress. I'm really realizing just how disconnected we are. The body is constantly communicating, and we've been trained to override it. We've been trained to push our body a little bit harder for that assignment, whether you are in school, which is training you to become a very good employee. You hungry, get a snack. You tired, drink caffeine. You in pain, take a pill. You anxious, scroll through your phone. You will not survive to that magnitude without making some changes. Your food is the information. What are you telling it to do? Sleep is the only place you're able to rest and recover. That's where your healing takes place. You are not walking around and all of a sudden your feet are unswollen. No, you go, you rest, you put your feet up, you go to sleep, and hopefully you wake up, you got your fingers crossed that you wake up in the morning and they're no longer swollen. But all of that takes place in your sleep. Everything is immediate. You go in, what's your symptoms? And they can look, say, okay, here, this is what I write for you. And I think that a lot of people watching right now know exactly what I mean. And because of that, Robyn, where do you think we lost this connection between healing and supporting our body itself?
You know, the funny thing is, last week while you were out living your best life, I was over here talking about the fact that we have learned to ignore our bodies. We have been trained to ignore what our bodies are trying to tell us. And I was saying, maybe I'll put my picture up for a second.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I have it over here. My
picture. Hold on. It should be.
Yeah, because gradually we have learned to ignore what our body is trying to say. Okay, so that's my chubby picture, but eczema.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Circles, those dark circles, right? The body is speaking. It's speaking, it's saying something, and I'm just trying to cover it up. That secondary picture there is me covering all of that up with makeup. Okay. So, yes, the body is speaking, and gradually over time, we have really learned to ignore it. When we look at our little babies and we see them scratching the backs of their legs with their little feet, that baby's body is talking. It's talking about too much sugar, right? So, over time, we have lost the ability to understand what our body is trying to say. And then we have the convenience factor. We always want something quick and easy, right? So I remember growing up and they came out with those Hungry Man TV dinners. You remember those? And the pot pies. I fed my kids the Michelinas. They used to love those Michelinas and Tostinos or Totino's pizza rolls and all of that stuff. That convenience factor is there. And I know for a lot of working moms and dads, the convenience factor is huge. It's huge, right? So it's easier for us to suppress our symptoms than it is to investigate a lifestyle change or to even think about how to make a lifestyle change. Over time, we have forgotten that our body is an interconnected system. And the body is always responding to what we're putting into it. As we just said, and we always say over here on this channel, everything that you ingest and put into your body and even on your body is inputs to how your system is going to react. So the food is information. Sleep is the repair mechanism. We talk about those, the construction crews and how a lot of times they will shut down the roads at night, block them off so the construction crew can come through and clean up. And that's what happens when we sleep and repair our bodies. Movement affects our circulation, our hormones, our insulin sensitivity, our mood, all of it, everything. When those systems become overloaded long enough, the symptoms reappear. The symptoms appear, right? Like just you saw those 2 black eyes. Those are symptoms. I didn't realize my body was trying to tell me something, right? And that the 2 black eyes was not the root of the issue. It was not the cause. It was the effect, right? So the root of the issue, right? That my body in those images was waving a flag and saying, oh my goodness, we are fighting for our life over here. What are you going to do, right? So G, this ties directly into what we talk about all the time with food and metabolic health. How do you see that showing up today?
I'm going to start with this. So everybody know that we are not picking on anyone. That is me on the screen on both sides of your screen. It's me. All right. I want you to know I've lived it. I've lived it. I'm talking to the people in the back. I've lived this. All right. I want you to know, surrounded by products. I can now watch like people turn around and crush up the Oreos, add the condensed oh no, that was the cinnamon. I've never liked cinnamon rolls, but you put the whole can of condensed sugar, put the cinnamon rolls in it, bake it. It's like sugar on top of sugar. I done seen things where you are adding Karo syrup, regular syrup, whipped marshmallow, and I'm like, oh my God, and drizzle this across. We have seen that and we are falling for it. Everything now is engineered, hyper palatable. It is to taste so good in your mouth. It's addictive. I'm sitting here telling someone their foot is swollen. She is typing in to purchase a pizza. It's like you don't realize just how much you are an addict. They make it convenient. It's called a convenience store. You can get it. Everything is constant. The commercials, the smells. What is that? Cookout. I don't know if you have one in your area. Burger King do this as well because of their char grill. They pump that smell out. You could be riding. It's like, What is that I'm smelling in the air? Now you're trying to find it, right? And we wonder why people can't stop eating. It is truly, truly, truly the inflammation from what you have eaten. Anything, put in the comments what's going on with your body, and we can almost go right back. I can almost know how it is that you're eating. I know. And I was a vegan for 4.5 years. Food is no longer just food. I keep saying it is chemistry. Would you turn around and just take a bunch of chemicals and feed it to the baby? No, I wouldn't do that. Yes, you do. Turn around the formula bottle. Read it. It's a bunch of chemicals on it. If it don't say something like eggs, meat, it one ingredient foods. That's how it is to be made. That's it. This is chemistry, this is signaling, and this is marketing. That is what you are, a dollar sign. How many more times do I have to say that? You are, your illness is purchasing a car for someone. Your illness is buying that add-on to their home while you're struggling. And no one is coming to save you. You have to make the connection to know that what you are eating is doing this to you. You don't have to eat like me. You don't have to. You don't have to do that. But you got to stop eating the way that you're eating. You have to find a better way. And it's not, if it's chemistry, if it's signaling you, if it's marketing. I don't care if that bag told you it was fat free. It is. How's that working for you? Okay. It isn't. If you combine these processed foods, stress, poor sleep, and constant eating, your body never gets a break. It never, ever, ever can recoup itself. Food is the foreplay for sleep. Okay. Sleep is where the repairs happen. If your body spends all night trying to manage the overload, it never gets to the repair part. We keep saying that. When does repair actually happen? That's the part that people aren't really talking about. So I'm going to switch it back over to Robyn, because when someone starts simplifying this food and reducing that overload, what changes do you give them? Some list of changes and stuff. What are some signs and signaling that you need to know that changing what you eat is headed in the right direction?
So a lot of people don't see the weight loss as the very first thing. Or maybe they'll see some weight loss, but like we're used to going on these crash diets and we can lose 10 pounds in a week. And we're like, we know how to do that. We can just snap it up and we've lost 10 pounds, right? But the first thing people generally notice, I'm going to say, it's got to be less inflammation. Like your inflammation is going to decrease drastically. People get more clarity of thought. They eliminate the brain fog. Some people don't even realize they have brain fog until the brain fog lifts. And then they're like, oh my goodness, I can see clearly now. The fog is gone, right? Stable energy, throughout the day. Remember that midday crash where you needed to have a candy bar because you was hangry? We don't have that anymore. We do not have to do that anymore. So the energy stays stable throughout the day. Less cravings, like zero cravings. The time when you used to think about food 24/7 while you were eating your candy bar, you're trying to think about the next thing you're going to eat. While you're eating one meal, you're planning for the next meal. We see that go away so fast. I have to give this example because it was so profound to me. My brother cousin, Sharad, was on a scooter for many, many years. I didn't see him off the scooter. Never saw him unless he was sitting in a chair. I never saw him off the scooter. Within 1 week of him eliminating sugar and going on a carnivore and primarily animal-based way of eating, he was up playing outside with the kids. I was like, oh yes, this is a game changer. This is a game changer, right? So, people say that they get better sleep, and once that sleep improves, then the other systems start improving too. Because as we talk about those road workers working at night, other things will start to improve because now your body has that space to repair. So we focus heavily on foundational things because it's so critical, right? Real food is the first
Mhm.
thing. No packaged processed, no chemical laden foods, no ultra palatable things, protein and fat, getting rest, regulating your nervous system, getting movement, right? These things, while they may seem trendy, it's not because of the trendiness, but it's because it's the biology of it, right? It's how your body works. And so when we continue to put in the right inputs, food, meat and fat, rest, movement, regulating the nervous system, right? Then we begin to see that our biology responds. Okay, G, what do you want women especially to hear in this conversation?
I know this is one of the reasons. Let me just start because I saw that over. Y'all, I'm jet lagged. I am. I've had one of the best times of my life on this last cruise that we did, and I just saw something different. I saw women just living their lives, not hunched over, not walking with a limp. And I just want you to know your body is not betraying you. This is not a part of you getting older. It isn't. I want you to know that I know you're exhausted. I know you pushing yourself. I know that you already know who has a doctor's appointment that has to be done, what kid is getting close to the end of the school year. Did they find that library book? You have those Chromebooks that got to be turned in. Do they have the power supply to it? Are you going to get hit with another bill? You're the one that everything is falling on the shoulder. You're the one keeping that light bill on. You're the one keeping that roof over their head. You know that, oh my God, we done made it. That your clothes from last year gonna be your summer clothes for this year, so you don't mess up them school clothes. And this whole cycle is coming over again. And because you're being punched like this over and over and over, you don't see the damage until it's too late. They're calling high blood pressure the silent killers, but in actuality, it is talking to you. Our bodies are not supposed to stretch in the way that we are stretching them, where you no longer see an elbow. You can't physically see your knee anymore. We came up with the word cankle. No,
Hmm.
that's not how it's supposed to be. And I've seen it in other countries. They're not going through what we're going through. They are actually being mindful over what it is that they're putting in their mouths, even if it's at a little small amount. Sis, you got the years of stress. You got years of processed food. You got where you look, you going to run through, drive through, you eating with one hand, trying to make a phone call, trying to plan so on and so forth, because you got to pick Johnny up and Sally up and get them to basketball practice, soccer practice, cheerleading practice. You're doing all of this and you're just putting years and years on top of you, and you always looking at yourself last. What the family going to do without you? You're doing so much, but I need you to take care of you first. Okay, stop putting yourself last. I know the feeling. I We're gonna talk on another time. I'm gonna put a show up on the channel of these third. This last cruise really changed me, and I am so passionate about women. We are it. Nobody can come to earth without passing through us. We're the gateway to the earth realm, and we are mistreating ourselves. Yeah, nobody wants to lose their mom. Nobody wants to lose their best friend. Nobody wants to lose their sister, their cousin, their favorite aunt. You got to stop and go ahead and divorce this sugar like that. And I ain't talking about just white granulated sugar. The snacks, one ingredient food is all that you can go ahead and start with, because once you understand the pattern that you are in, that you are the income. Yeah. So just think of what you bring in, but they making so much more off of your body. Don't fight yourself. All right? Don't fight. Come on, Robyn. Send us
Yeah,
on out. Got some information for us.
absolutely. So I just want to say that healing does take time. We've spent many, many years doing this damage to our bodies, right? And it can take a long time for us to heal, but you're going to feel so much better so fast. It will blow your mind. But what I want to tell you guys about is that we are hosting a meetup in Kalamazoo, Michigan. It's called Impact Meetup and Eat Up with Carnivorous Grandma and Friends. Do we have
You
a?
gonna have to share your screen.
Okay, hold on a second.
Yes, because we didn't put it over on this side.
Hold on, hold on.
Yes, get it. Get it, get it, get it, get it. I got last year's commercial. And you got new people coming in. This impact this year is going to be off the chain.
It is. Let me see if I can share my screen here.
Yes,
because it does not have the newest information. The newest.
That's all right. Put the QR code up.
That Impact Meetup and Eat Up with Carnivorous Grandma and Friends is going to be held in Kalamazoo, Michigan. It is September 5th, 2026, 11 to 4. We're having an after party, 4:30 to 7:30. But what I want you to know is that we are going to be holding a screening or hosting a screening of the Healing Humanity movie during Impact. I need to update this because, we're going to be having the Healing Humanity movie. We got, oh my goodness, such an amazing lineup for you guys. You guys can check it out. Go ahead and scan that QR code or go to my website at carnivorousgrandma.com and get your tickets for Impact. It's going to be amazing.
There you go. I do see a question in here. I'm going to pop it up. Okay, so hold on. Yeah, we do it like that. Okay, so am I still using elastic bands and stretching and exercising? On this last cruise, baby, all of 2026, I have been on it. And then on like the last 10 nights, I got off it. I celebrated. I was seeing so much beautiful stuff. I did not have a food cheat. I didn't. I did not get up. The walking that I was doing is in like the terrain, the mountains and stuff like that. That's, what I was doing. And I got to get back on my plan. I'm exhausted. Switching those time zones and stuff like that. I understood that healing took place in my sleep. And because my sleep was just not well, I did not push myself when I was woke. So that's the best way for me to say that. I feel that I'm educated enough to know if I did not get the proper amount of rest, I understand that I have to take it easy the next day and then make rest a priority to put my body in the best position for movement. That's what else we got over here? Some down here. Oh, yes, honey. Yes, this is what you are the gateway. A female dog to go, all the females, no animal, no insect, nothing comes into the earth realm without passing through us. So, woman, you are important. You are the gateway. Take care of your body. It's the only one you getting on this trip to earth. Take care. You don't like you it feels so good once you have fat back that your back ain't, the fat ain't on there anymore. Where you cross your legs, get all of that back. Put you first. Then you'll have the energy for everything else. We talk about the self-care, the self-love you're going to have to do. And in the meantime and in between time, you work your thing and I work mine. We're going to see you next week. Peace
everybody.
out.